Okay, if you're having looking for a wiring issue and you haven't fixed this in a 2006 plus Panther, so Crown Vic, Grand Marquis, there is a splice that goes through this boot that goes from the car into the driver's door. And if you look on here, it's this dark green line, and it goes from fuse 2 of the central junction box, which is right under the steering wheel near the hood release, and then it goes out to these things. That splice from the factory is just a ultrasonic spot weld, basically, with some tape around it. So it's not the best. And over the years of opening and closing this door, that splice ends up breaking free. Now you can do this without taking the door panel off. I just took it off anyway. So you can see here's the driver's door module, and then these are the window controls and mirror and all of that, and then that's your power seat control. Even if your car does not come with power seats, the wiring is still there. So you do not have to take the door module off. I'm sorry, the door panel off to do this, but I did it anyway because there's some other stuff I want to do in here today and kind of spruce this up. So to get to the wiring that we're talking about, you have to push this boot back. There's no way to take this off without taking the door off or cutting it. So the best thing to do is to try and just push it back so you don't have to take the door off or anything like that, because then you're really diving into some deeper stuff. So to pull the boot out, I had already pulled it out a little bit there, so I pull it out from this side. Okay, all it does is pull out. It's not attached in there at all. Just got to compress it. And then what I did was I stuffed this side through the body side, and then you go down here to your kick plate. You can pull this kick plate out. All it does is just pull out. There's a couple of the little Christmas tree things right behind where my thumb is, and it just pulls out. Okay, so might be hard to see. Let's see if I can get the camera in there. So there's my finger. So there's the boot. So all you got to do is get it. Kind of hard to get the angle up in here, but you can just keep feeding it through. On the doors, from the door side into the body side. You can actually push it all the way through, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you can. So, and that gives you access to the wires. So now when you open yours up, you're going to see a bundle of green wires. This black wire is the one that I used to fix the splice. So I just used a butt connector. It's better if you solder this. I just didn't, at the time I was troubleshooting this and didn't really want to go into that, so I just crimped it. But that was a couple of months ago now, and it's been fine. I might go back in there. I found some nice butt connectors that are, they got solder in them, so you just have to use a heat gun. It's actually kind of cool. I've been using those around the car. Actually, there's one right there. But so what I did was I pulled these wires out, added my own wire, crimped it, and then stuck it back into the door. All right, so to do the other side, the car side, again, what I did was I made a wire length long enough to give me enough room to play with. And then I pulled the boot out, basically did the opposite thing. Instead of shoving the boot in that way, I shoved the boot this way to do this side of the splice. And I couldn't get a good enough angle under there, But once you see this wire under there, you can pull it out of the bundle and get yourself some slack in it, enough to pull it out to be able to splice this. And then when you splice it and you're done, you just shove it back in here with all the rest, and you have your extra piece of wire here. So that means your splices are both in the kick panel and in the door. And then you just stick your boot back in here and then make sure it seats properly. You don't want to get any leaks. And then that's it. If you manage to, I don't think you will, but if you somehow manage to lose your wire, like it falls in here somewhere or goes that way, both of these things are actually pretty accessible. It's hard with the camera, but you can get to your wiring from this side. You just got to stick your head up there with a light, and then if you take the driver's speaker out, there's a ton of room to get your hand in there and get down into this, basically this wire bundle. Because if you see, there's the green wire right there. So it's and this is, oh, actually this is another part of it. This is the part that's actually coming through the door, through that boot, spits out right here, and then goes into your driver's door module. So hopefully that helps. It's a pretty simple fix for something that's causes a lot of problems. So hopefully you can get that figured out, and let me know if you have any questions.